Mrs. L's coming to you from Bima's Crafty Corner, and today we have a special treat. Why? Because today I went to the vintage market, flea market, parking lot sale, and swap meet. I know, right? Anyway, so I went, and as always, you know, I was like, well, maybe I'll find, you know, an old map or a book I like or something. So I was kind of happy when I walked up to this booth. Yeah, she's helping. The dollar table. These cool old metal vintage stamps. There's one, American Bacon Trust. Just all kinds of goodies. So, here's what I got. I got a stack of these. These are circa 1960s tea cards. These were put in packs of tea and sold in Australia, Canada, and England. And I have a whole set of the vintage clothes. There's some of these signs and symbols and flags of many nations. There are some of these trees of England, some outer space ones, and some of these singles that these were actually a reprint that they did for a wildlife fund. In among them were these wildflowers. Now, these are original prints. They were reprinted in 1978. But these are the original ones because you can tell because they're blue. The reprints were black. So these were originals. And in those, I found these. These are from the Wills Cigarette Company. Now, in the United States, in the early 1800s, 1900s, they would put these little cards in a pack of cigarettes, and that's what these are. Now, these are all reprints, but this one and this one, from my research, are actually originals. And you can tell because they're blue, and the other ones are glossy and black, and these are flat. So you see the difference? There you go. In that same booth, I found a whole bunch of these. This was the only one that I got, though. And the only reason I got it was because it was a considerable size. And what this is this is an old bank stamp, an old metal bank stamp. And the face print here is actually metal, so we'll give it a check. So I got a piece of paper here. Go ahead and push that down. Alright, I actually moved that, but you can see there, it's nice and crisp. We'll do it again just so you can see because I moved it. Uh-oh. That was operator error, not bad stamp. It was bad stamping. Okay. Stamp down. Stamp up. Nice clean image. The Westchester National Bank of Dade County. So I got that, which I thought was really cool. They had some other ones, but they were kind of small. That's why I didn't get them. Of course, an afterthought, I should have grabbed them. And then the other thing that I got from him was these. And let's start with this one. This is a bag that contains stamps. And there's about 100 stamps in here. And these are from Asia. Whoopsie. Whoop. He tried to escape. Then I got these, and there's about 95 of them or so in here. And these are actually Canadian. Old Canadian stamps. And then I got 2 bags of these, and each bag had 100 stamps in it. And these are French stamps. Of course, they're all postal marked because they are all used. And then I got a second bag of those as well. And I paid $6 for the lot. And he threw in this, which is an old set of Hallmark labels. These are Hallmark seals, like you used to put on an envelope when when people sent letters. Now, for those of you that are under 30, a letter is when you take a piece of paper and you write, "Dear so-and-so, how are you? Yada, 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 yada." You do not print it on a computer. And then you put it in an envelope and you put a stamp on it and you give it to the postman and he takes it away. Because back in the day, letters actually came in the mail, not just bills. I'm being sarcastic here, okay? So, then I went to the next booth, which was absolutely darling. The lady was using old vintage purse, the old click purse tops, and she was repurposing them and making new purses out of them, which were very beautiful. And all kinds of other little goodies she was making there. And the reason that I stopped was I saw that they had some vintage postcards. And I found these vintage postcards. This is Niagara Falls and Horseshoe Falls together. This is an old vintage postcard here. You can see the back. Some other postcards. Some of them are written on, some of them aren't. But the really cool thing here is that I actually bought these from the grandson of the lady who received them. And this one here, you can see it says World's Fair Exposition in San Francisco, 1915. So these are very old, very cool vintage. This one's 1939. This one says 1820. 1915. So these are pretty old and they're really cool, and I didn't pay a lot for them. So I felt bad. So I bought some other things from these folks, and let me get the other thing that I bought. Okay. So the other thing that I bought is in this box, in this bag. So, hold on. They threw this in, which is a set of Stampin' Up! Letter stamps, wood blocks. And this is a huge bag of woodblock stamps, and most of these are either Hero Arts or Stampin' Up! Pieces. Some of them are absolutely huge and look like they've never been used. And then there's even some Stampin' Up! Foam stamps, rubber stamps in here. And like I said, they're very large stamps. See that? I have big hands, people. Big, huge hands. This thing's got to be 7 inches long. So I got a whole bag of these. Lots of really cool sentiments and proverbs and seasonal things, and lots of... There's actually duplicates in here. This is obviously a Stampin' Up! Stamp. And all I really wanted... Here it is. Was this one. But she was selling the foam stamps for a penny or up to a nickel a piece, and she was selling these for $1 or less, and I offered her, made a deal with her. I asked her how much she wanted for all of them, and she said, give me a number. And I said 10, and she said 20, and I said, 15, and she said 16, and I said sold, and then she threw this out. So that was my haul for the day. I'm lying. There was one other thing, and I'll show you that. The last booth I went to was a bookseller, and he had some new books, and he had some old books. Now, I bought a 1909 printing of Taming of the Shrew for my daughter. Her degree is actually in classic English literature, and so that she will find, it's a first edition, and she will find that quite lovely. And then I saw this, and I had this, look at this beautiful, beautiful work on the front here. This is very old, very beat up. You can see the pages. It's an old string-bound book. It is unfortunately seen better days. The signatures are, they're all still attached, but they are falling out of the book itself. That's okay. What this is a copy of Evangeline by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. And the illustrations in here are by F.O.C. Darley, printed by Hearst and Company. And there is no copyright date in this book, but my research told me that this book was printed in the late 1800s, like 1893, 1894. So, very beautiful book. Very nicely done. And of course, you know, it's pretty much just basically one gigantic long poem. So I got that. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to use it yet because I don't really want to tear it up. But, and I might just restore it. I might restore the binding and keep it around for a while. But I only paid $2 for this book. I kind of feel bad. No, I don't. I really don't. I like the fact that I only paid $2 for this book. But I will probably just restore the binding on it. If it can be restored. So, you know, I'll try and see what I can do. And if I can't restore it, then I don't know, I might take it and sell the signatures. Hard to say. But this is mine. So that was what I got today on my little adventure out to the flea market parking lot sale thing. So do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, like me, ring my bell, pass me around the internet with the share, or don't, totally your choice. But I want to thank you so much for being here today, and until I see you next time, bye bye. Miss Lili, Bima loves you. Hi Lily, bye. Bye bye.